Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Coming down to
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Look at Tyson! Haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Well, tonight we've clearly got Georgia on our mind, in the words of Ray Charles, as we're here for the final round of the inaugural Sim Racing Collective F4 Sprint season here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. You join myself and Alex Goldschmidt and Dean Biggles. We're going to get straight on to brass tacks because tonight, Dean, we crown an inaugural champion.
Welcome, Alex, and welcome everybody to chat. And speaking of which, well, that's going to be a bit of nail biter, isn't it, between those two at the top of the points tally?
Yep, Josh Millington on 471 points, taking into consideration drop scores, just 4 ahead of Kieran Sharp. Luciano Vitvoet, 5 times a race winner this season, had a DNF last time out when we were definitely having a lot of action happening out on the circuit. Jamie Nuttall is in with a mathematical chance of the title. Bobby Moss is the top rookie in 5th, still rocking the Williams Renault tribute band, and hopefully he's got the red 5 on the nose cone. Andrew Pike, Matt Acton, Brad Horsnell, Jack Southfield and Fabian Bierver round out the top 10. Jack Southfield still not again with us, mainly because of the fact we've got the 12 kilometres of Qatar for the opening round of the FIA World Endurance Championship start, which happens tomorrow. And apparently that's going to be 338 laps of that circuit. But there you see the rest of the field. Thomas Martin, Guillaume Hamling, Johnny Wu, Tom Davidson, David Long, Gurgly Kunsabo, Freddie Coleman, Cody Cosford, Hayden Miller, who might be rocking a new livery. He gave me a bit of a sneak peek, which myself and Biggles already have seen, and it looks pretty stellar if it's on the grid tonight. Stefan Hutter rounds out the top 20, and then you've got Smith, Barnes, Ronda, Helmer, Weller, Simmons, Blankensteiner, Giles, Silva, Miller, Reiter, Bibliok, Bogdan rounding out the top 33 in the championship standings. But we are very much underway with the 10-minute solo qualifying, and at the moment at the top of the timesheets, no surprise, it's the 5-time race winner this season, Luciano Vitvoet, on a 1-minute 20.334, over 2 tenths quicker than Kieran Sharp. So this circuit opened back on the 13th of September 1970, measures just a shade over 2.5 miles, 12 turns in all, located just north of Braselton, Georgia, approximately 80 kilometers northwest of Atlanta. So, without further ado, let's go on a hot lap with the Flying Dutchman himself, who's just got in and put in a 1 minute 20.305. So into T1, you're going to go over this blind crest through into turns 2, 3, down the hill. You've got to be very, very careful on track limits as you go through turn 4. Then down into the S's, so a further descent down the circuit into sort of like a, what is it? Sort of like one of those mining holes that you see. You've got to be very careful coming out of the S's and going into turn 5. Of course, turn 5 is going to be a pinch point around the circuit. Then it's the double right at turn 6 and 7. Very adverse right-hand camber on turn 6. Then it's through turn 8. And then we're going to see plenty of slipstream used from turn 8 right the way to the final chicane on the complex here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta, which is going to be turns 10A and 10B. So you're going to go into this very heavy braking zone. You're going to go down the gearbox. It's a left, then it's a right, and then it's over the crest underneath the Fox Factory Bridge there, through into turn 11, turn 12. You've got to be very, very careful how you exit this corner because you could end up on the wall on the left-hand side, and that is a lap of the 12-turn, 2.5 mile circuit. And on that hot lap, well, Luciano Vitvoet has just gone quicker still, 1 minute 20.276, and he's nearly 3/10 up ahead of Kieran Sharp. Good to have Josh Millington, the points leader, back on the grid, having some technical troubles that Kieran Sharp was helping him out with. So we wanted to see the battle rage on track. Jamie Nussel, Bobby Moss rounding out the top 5. Tom Davidson in 6th head of Gergely Consalvo, Martin Blankensteiner, Guillaume Hamling, and Hayden Miller rounding out the top 10. And they are covered at the moment, Dean, by just over 3/4 of a second. So this, I mean, I'm looking at it here. Johnny Wu down in 15th, just over a second off a pole position. And this has really, really got our appetites very much watered, so to speak, coming into these final 2 races.
Top 3 in the championship in the top 3 positions currently at the moment in the qualifying. But of course, Luciano has to have basically this two, Kieran Sharp and Josh, do a center and cross moment. As you can see, Kieran Sharp getting some temperature into those tyres. At the moment, the Flying Dutchman is the untouchable one so far with that huge, really, that's a big gap, of course, from him to the rest of the field. And of course, it's very close after that. In the chat as well too, hello Andrew, hello DQ Dave, hello Hash Brown, and hello Martin. Everybody else say hello. We'll get to a little bit more trivia later on, like we did last week, if we get time to talk. If we get a break, of course, in the motor racing. I don't know if we are going to have that much of a break at this one, because yeah, it's crunch time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a very fast-flowing circuit here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Well, let's just call it Road Atlanta for short, but it is a fantastic circuit. The in real life race lap record set back at round 4 of the 2016 US Formula 4 Championship was done by Skylar Robinson, 127.406. We're definitely going to be a lot faster than that because back then it was the Crawford F4 16 car, which is powered by a Honda unit, but riding on board with Kieran Sharp as he's making his way through turn 4 and into the S's. Let's see how he negotiates the entry and the exit into turn 5 here just off of the S's. Yeah, it's going to be very, very much the case that if you go off at that point, the back end could step out to the right-hand side, Dean, and yeah, that will be no rear wing, 3 wheels on the wagon, and a trip to the garage.
And you don't want to have that in a championship hunt, that's for sure, for Kieran. Even though it's qualifying, it's still very, very crucial to put the best possible times in as well. And this is also your little practice session as well before you get into the race. It's interesting that off track, as you said there before, you can really run right out there, but I wonder how far you can really run it before you might get a slap of a slowdown.
We could see that in the first of 2 races. Of course, the format, 10-minute solo qualifying, 15-minute race 1, and then a feature 25-minute race. So, as Dean alluded to earlier, folks, Millington and Sharp need to have big-time dramas, at least one DNF Vivek Voet to literally be on their case. And if he picks up the win in the opening races,
that's running wide.
That was out of turn 1 by Kieran Sharp. Whoops-a-daisy. Blankensteiner goes up to P7. Millington at the minute. Last lap time from him was a 1:20.761. We're coming to the final 50 seconds of this timed qualifying session here at Road Atlanta. And it's Househoys are already saying nerf Sharpie. Martin Leggs just responded saying, sorry, I don't race anymore, Househoy, otherwise I'd take him out, laugh out loud. Bobby Moss has already been in the F4 chat on the Discord server saying, we'll try not to kill the boss man again tonight. Luciano Voet has been on every single lap lighting up the timesheets purple, and look at the advantage he's got over Kieran Sharp, 0.4 of a second. Andrew Pike, who is currently 6th in the standings on 378 points, rounds out the top 10. Here's Luxembourg's Guillaume Hamling, and then Martin Blankensteiner in the other car, but that is qualifying done and dusted. And once again, Luciano Voet, the Flying Dutchman, will put it on pole position for race 1. Kieran Sharp alongside him on the front row, 2nd in the championship standings. Josh Millington leading the points, currently P3. Jamie Nuttall, Bobby Moss, Tom Davidson, Martin Blankensteiner, Hayden Miller, Gurgley Kunsabo, and Andrew Pike round out the top 10. Matt Acton, Guillaume Hamling round out row 6. Row 7, it's Bradley Horsnell and Johnny Wu, followed by Stefan Hutter, Thomas Helmer, Gareth Ronda, Thomas Martin, and David Barnes, rounding out the top. Right. Hayden Miller's just informed me he's not running the livery. Trading Paints is not allowing him to load it. That's a real shame, because it was very much in the out. If anyone might remember when Button and Hamilton were partnered up at McLaren,
yes,
and they were partnered, and the title sponsor was Vodafone, McLaren, Mercedes. Chrome bodywork with the big teardrop logo and the Vodafone lettering amidst a red background. That's the livery that Hayden Miller would have run. So we are getting ready and set and under starters orders for race 1 out of 2 for the 6th and final round of this inaugural season of the Sim Racing Collective F4 Sprint, live on the JP Broadcasting and Sim Racing Collective YouTube channels respectively. Just waiting for a couple of more drivers to grid up. Moss and Millington. Millington's now on the grid, just waiting for Bobby Moss to expedite his car onto position 5 on the grid, and then when that is done and dusted, there he goes, and he has got the red 5. Well done. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so lights are on the gantry. 5 red lights are on. 5 red lights are out. We're underway for the first of 2 races. Barney, the flag marshal, as energetic as ever, as Millington trying to drag alongside Kieran Sharp in the slipstream. Luciano Voet as it's a run down to T1. Sharp trying to keep it pinned to the outside as they will now go over the blind crest. Millington towards the outside. And will he get the job done on Kieran Sharp? He bounces over the curbs, gets through for 2nd position. That's one of the things that Millington needs to do. Just keep ahead of Sharp. As long as he does that, Voet can still win both these races, but if Millington and Sharp run 2nd and 3rd respectively, that's going to be game over for Voet and Sharp in terms of the title. But Sharp is not going to let Millington get away with that one. Now through into the next right-hander at turn 6, into 7, with number 5 clearly alive on the 6th place car, the Williams Renault Tribute Band a la Nigel Mansell, courtesy of Bobby Moss, running in 6th place, just behind Tom Davidson. Jamie Nuttall for Cracked Racing in the number 14 holds on to 4th at the moment. So the top 3 the top 4 are as they were, but they're now going into turn 10A. Millington will have the inside line, but Sharp's going to keep it pinned to the outside and retake 2nd. Great move there by the number 23, but Millington's looking to go straight back at him through into turn number 11 as we come round to complete the opening lap. And whilst Voet is literally rolling away like a tumbleweed in a Western, Millington and Sharp are literally elbows out. Nuttall fancies a piece of this and he goes up the inside. A little bit of a rub between him and Sharp going through turn 1.
Yes, this is gonna be nerve-wracking. Somebody's off in the background in there in the grass, but it's gonna be absolutely nerve-wracking. These two, Kieran Sharp, of course, and Josh, they can't afford to take each other out. especially with Luciano way up the road, 2 second gain. This man, he obviously owns his track. He literally owns it, of course, but I mean, he is just going to be absolutely dominating. These two are going to be at best hoping for who wants that second step on the podium for race 1, of course, and then see it all pans out for the reverse grid. So far, Josh has the advantage. He has got the job done early, got the overtake done. Karen came back, and now there's a bit of a gap forming.
Okay, DQ Dave Barnes, unfortunately in pit lane. So is Guillaume Hamling. So 2 out of the 19 drivers in the pits, and we're going to have a look at what happens with Guillaume Hamling on the replay via the Helicam. And this is coming through out of turn 5. I did say you got to watch the exit. He clobbered the right front into the barriers, significant right side damage, and then DQ Dave's got nowhere to go. Bang! T-boned straight away, unsighted. That is a real shame. We're going to watch on board from the roll hoop cam.
Where to go? Bang.
Yeah, box. Oh, that's a hard hit. And 3 wheels on the wagon for Dave, I'm afraid. That just goes to show one mistake from one can then cause drama for another. And it was just a real shame for Dave Barnes. Completely unsighted. Hamling just losing it by going beyond the limit of adhesion through the exit of turn number 5. So we've got more dramas. That's Hayden Miller in the wall. And that's at turn 5 as well.
This is going to be contact between these drivers here. There it is.
Oh.
Bang. I was just about to switch over to them because they were getting very close on the timesheets, as you can see. So that battle that was brewing. Almost like we had last week, isn't it, in the mid-pack here?
Yeah, well, Gurgly Kunsaba now on the back wing of Bobby Moss. And this is the battle for P6. So they're going...
Let's go back up to there. Here we go. Karen's making a run.
Right, Kieran Sharp wants to get things done early and put the Frighteners on Millington, but this is going to be... Oh, they nearly rubbed sidewalls there, left rear to right front. Millington's going to go late on the brakes up the inside, through into turn 10B. This is allowing Nuttall and Davidson to close on in. Millington just loses third to Nuttall on the run coming out of turn 10B, and that now means that Millington is 2 places behind Sharp, but he's needing to do something quickly about it. Nuttall's going to run wide through turn 1. That's going to allow Millington possibly to get through. Vogt has just done a 1 minute 20.452, as is that Nuttall round on the outside of Sharp. It is! Great move by the number 14. Nuttall says, well, if you two are going to bicker like a pair of old women, I'm going to take that opportunity and get through for second.
Yeah, but exactly. You called it, my friend, and it's absolutely exciting. Could these other drivers be a key factor in this championship decider, really? I mean, Luciano's the cleverest thing for the Flying Dutchman. He's just scored up the road. He's like, I don't want to be any part of this. I don't even want to see you in my mirrors. That's how far up the road I am. But these two are going to be at it tooth and nail, and I can imagine this is just a teaser of what's going to become, of course, the race. So here, 3 abreast going down. Hold on tight.
Oh my goodness, that's Tom Davidson up the on the right-hand side of your shot there, folks. Now through. And they're still 3 wide. This is absolutely incredible. It's like the Freedom 100 a couple of years ago at Indianapolis. Davidson runs a bit deep, Sharp round the inside, round the outside through turn 10B, and retakes 4th position. Well, if that was ever a moment, you know that they can go at least 3 wide coming out of turn 8 and into turn 10A. Vogt is up the road. 4.3 seconds with over a third of the time had gone. That's him checked out. No one, unless Vogt has a drama, if he has a moment on his own, which can very much happen, or if, oh dear, we've got Gurgly Kunsaba just had a minute. He was running 7th behind Bobby Moss. So we're going to see what happens here for the Wild Things Racing car, the number 4. Turns it in. Oh, the back end's already gone out. He's just turned it in, over-rotated, carried too much speed, and then wallop, he's around. And he actually, it was Martin Blankensteiner that slightly nudged his rear wing, which then flew back off and then back on again. Johnny Wu has had dramas in the meantime in the number 19. He's gone off circuit. So DQ Dave, who's managed to get a lap back on him, has got through. But Millington and Sharp, this is the real battle. Now, it is so close to call. If Millington stays ahead of Sharp in both races, there's not enough of a dent, as Acton's going to send it up the inside into turn 10A on Blankensteiner. takes the position. Nice, neat battle for 8th and 9th, but
yeah.
Blankenstein is going to come back at him straight up the inside. I noticed there that Kieran Sharp's just taken the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 20.140. Matt Acton running with Nigel Mansell's actual race helmet from the 90s. With the old Union Jack as Blankenstein runs wide through turn 1. Acton back through for 8th. And we are, I cannot believe this, Dean. We are literally at half time on the counter ticking down.
There you go. I was going to see if I could find the helmet there for a second. We'll go back. You're right. Absolutely. It's going to go back. I can't believe that Karen just took it away there from Luciano. Luciano was going faster and faster and faster. And at that point, you've got a nice gap, my friend. You've got 3.6, 3.7 and change up the road there. I wouldn't push it that much because he's doing what he needs to do to keep his championship dreams alive by winning the race. As simple as that. Kind of reminds you of Massa, wasn't it, in Brazil?
Yeah.
Massa just like dominated that race. All he needed to do was just win it and then hope to see what happened with Hamilton later on down the track. You know, but James calls that a conspiracy, by the way, too. James thinks that it was
yeah, well that's
that deliberately
off
did that
in a
or something
nutshell.
like that.
Sorry, JP, but I had to call you out on that one, mate. Yeah, we were having a joke about that, saying we need to get him a mug for Christmas, saying ultimate conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. And you know, I believe that Glock only spoke about that just recently. He hadn't spoke about it for all that time. He didn't even say anything to anybody about it. And he said, of course, it's absolutely ridiculous. He was like, it was wet. I friggin' had dry tires and I was struggling big time.
Yeah, that's true. Now, looking at the points situation, the moment. Oh!
This is huge!
That's drama for Jamie
that's
Nuttall. Nuttall has just completely lost it coming out of turn 5.
Wow,
again.
That's going to be scary for these two, wasn't it? Oh,
Sharps up the... Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. Nuttall loses it. Millington gets through. Sharp gets through. And then Nuttall drops all the way down to 8th place. Guillaume Hamling, well, that damage on his car was very much terminal.
Here we go.
As now Millington looking for 2nd. This is for 60 points.
Sorry.
And Sharp is trying to keep alongside with him. It's not much between them in the championship, nor is it much between them on the road, because through turn 10B, Millington's going to have the run through 11 and through into 12. Sharp's going to be forced a little bit wide. They're going to give each other enough racing room. These two have been duking it out all the way through the season. Voigt is now nearly 6 seconds up the road as they filter their way into turn 1. Millington back through, and that's 60 points, 57 for Sharp. So looking at it from this perspective, that will put...
Yeah, Voigt, as what he's got to be doing right now is that he's probably, you know, his spotter on the team radio is just sitting there going, I hope that these two take each other out. That's what he needs. He needs, like, take each other out, guys. Because sitting there wheel-to-wheel racing, his spotter or radio engineer would be like, yes, they are going for it too for now. You would be super nervous if they were teammates. And all he can do is just go, please take each other out, because then I could win this championship.
Well, looking at it from this perspective here, Dean, at the moment, with 60 points, Millington would have a lead of 6 going into the final race of the season, considering the fact that Kieran Sharp did have, up until this point just now, as they're going to go through into turn 10A, Millington's going to have the inside line again. It's 5-3-1 plays 5-2-5. Voigt with 4-3-7 would have an additional 65 to his credit. That'll put him on 502 points. So at this moment in time, the main battle for the championship is between 2nd and 3rd. Davidson now could make something of this, because he's not worried about the championship, okay? He is more concerned of, can I get a podium, at least one tonight, before we finish this, what has been an absolutely fantastic TSRC F4 sprint season. It really has been great, from the madness of Alton Park in Cheshire to what we could see here at Road Atlanta. It is just so difficult to predict, but Luciano Voigt is doing exactly what he needs to do. Keep his head clear, keep away from everybody else. As you said, just put it on pole, fly away into the distance. And he's nearly 7 seconds up the road as we're coming up to 3 minutes. remaining on the timer. And as I say that, through turn 9 goes Voit. Millington and Sharp. This is going to be a slipstream fest. You can see that Millington's already starting to defend. Going into the approach into turn 10A. Sharp's looking for the inside line. Might go late on the brakes, and he does so. Back through to second. Goes Kieran Sharp, and he got a real good run of momentum through the corner. He put a car length, then some, between himself and Millington. So incredible work there by Kieran Sharp. And that will be very, very close indeed between the pair. It's just so difficult to call. It puts it, I think, that's going to put them dead level.
Wow.
That move that Kieran Sharp has just done, I'm just going to work this out for a second, folks.
Yeah, this is going to be
So
absolutely an all-breaker.
yeah, it puts them pretty much dead level. So you look at it from this perspective, 4.67 for Kieran Sharp coming into this race, 5.28. 4.71 plus 57 for Josh Millington, 528 points. It will go to count back. That's how close it is now.
But it's not over yet, because if I was
No.
Tom sitting in the background, he said, Tom's going to be worried about this because he knows that these two are battling in the championship, and he knows that they're not going to give up, and he knows there's a good chance that they might even get in contact. So if I was Tom, I would hang back. But you see, this battle's bringing everybody else into play, as you can clearly see. This is what happens when you have two cars fighting. We're all aware of it. It allows other drivers to catch up. And that's exactly what's happening. So Tom's going to be very cautious in the background here. Do you really want to be a part of this party? It's a championship battle party. Of course, you have the boss man right there up the road there, not to be intimidated, of course. But that's also bring Pike, of course, into it, and Bobby. This is exactly what we said. Luciano just needed to get away with it up the road. It's exactly what he's doing. He's probably so glad. But once again, he needs, or hoping, of course, these two to come together. I have been wheeled. The driving has been. Oh, they're following each other off.
Millington's off. Oh, hang on. Well,
Yes.
Davidson's off. Yeah, Millington's off the track. Davidson has dropped down the order. So
He's blinked. He's out of session, I
he's
think.
blinked. Oh, dearie me.
Can't find him. Yeah.
So this now means we are going to be seeing Kieran Sharp and Josh Millington go for a mano-a-mano battle.
Slow down.
And slow down penalty.
Oh.
Slow down penalty. That drops him to 5th, which is 53 points, puts him on 5.24. Well, that means that effectively, if Millington was to take... So we're going to see here, so Millington runs a little bit deep.
No, Tom followed him, yeah. And then Tom blinks.
Yeah, Tom followed him and then disconnected from the session.
Yeah. Well, Josh is so lucky to get back onto that racing line like that. But then, of course, that's what deemed, wasn't it, from race control and said, you got to slow down. And let's see. Yeah, he got from that or no? Maybe from. No, there's a slow down. He got told. Okay.
Yeah, and Pike just goes through on him. So
I just want to quickly look at the
5.28 for Kieran. Yeah, 5.28 for Kieran
what
Sharp.
happened earlier. That was very lucky that Josh didn't get a part collected on this one, because that could have been game over.
Oh, he lost it going into turn 5. Yeah. Locks up the brakes, smoke billowing from the tyres. And Jamie Nutter was very lucky to keep that out of the barriers. Bradley Horsnell closing in on Gurgly Kunsabo through into the final corner. We are on the final lap of the race. And Bradley Horsnell trying to pull alongside the Hungarian from Wild Things Racing. And Bradley Horsnell with a better run of speed. And the SRG car gets through. Meantime, Millington has got to fight against Bobby Moss, who at this rate will be the top rookie at the end of the season. And he's got the number 5s in red all over the shop on that car. Love it, Bobby. Love it.
Yeah, and this is, Josh can't afford to give this position up now that Kieran Sharp's in that P2. So he's got to defend. He only has to defend this lap, because we're on the last lap, and we'll obviously have to switch over to the Flying Dutchman. Because unless Bobby's going to do a late dive bomb, I think it's too late. Here we go.
It is, but Luciano Voit, 5 times the race winner. Make that 6 here at Road Atlanta in the penultimate race of the TSRC F4 Sprint season. Kieran Sharp will go into the final race of the season with a 4-point advantage. I cannot believe what I am just saying then. Well, looking at it from this perspective, actually, it's not, because Millington finishes 4th. So Voit takes first, Sharp in second, Pike 3rd, Millington 4th. 4th is 55 points So it's 2 points. 2 points, folks, between Kieran Sharp and Josh Millington for the title. Luciano Vitvoet has an opportunity here, but Vitvoet takes the win by 8.2 seconds. This is a little bit of afters. There we go. That's Matt Acton. And Blankenstein. There we go. And there's the helmet. I was talking about that a little bit earlier with the old Nigel Mansell tribute band, courtesy of Matt Acton. Well played.
Nigel Mansell. All right, here we go. We've got race results coming up for you on that exciting race. And it was actually fantastic too, because remember, they were wheel-to-wheel door banging the whole time, and they didn't take each other out. Just an off-track excursion that occurred was the only difference that there was there. So hey, that is very, very much impressive. Here's the results.
Okay, so we've got the warm-up underway ahead of the final race of the season. Luciano Vitvoet, 65 points, a maximum score for the 6th time for the World of Racing's Flying Dutchman this season. Kieran Sharp goes into the final race of the season, 2 points in the lead. That's how quickly it swung. Ahead of Andrew Pike, who rounds out the top 3. Josh Millington has got a fight back on his hands from 4th on the grid. Bobby Moss, Jamie Nuttall, Matt Acton, and Martin Blankensteiner ran out the top 8 ahead of Gareth Ronda and Bradley Horsdall, who complete the top 10 in the finishing order. Gurgley Consabo, Thomas Martin, Johnny Wu, Thomas Helmer, Stefan Hutter, Hayden Miller, Tom Davidson, David Barnes, who actually said he had to retire due to issues after that crash. Guillaume Hamling retired on lap 3, tank slapping into the barriers off of turn 5. Well,
who's our driver that had the technical issue towards the end?
That was Dave Barnes. Dave Barnes was the one that had the technical issue.
Oh, you said you'd read that from Dave Barnes. That's right. You just mentioned it.
Yeah, it's come up in the chat. But a big thank you to everyone that's been watching so far. We have got one more race to go. Now,
yeah.
I was gonna say. Now, we were having a discussion last week, weren't we?
Yes.
About teammates.
Yes.
If you were a team principal. Now, the bombshell that I dropped at the end of last week's broadcast was Alberto Ascari and Jim Clark. Now, because obviously you all know where Dean is originally from, Dean, tell us about the Australian double team that you would have as a team principal, buddy.
Oh, well, as team principals, of course, Jack Brabham and Alan Jones. Jonesy.
And the latter. Now, interesting trivia, folks, for those historians amongst you. Alan Jones, 1980 Formula One world champion with Williams the year after Jody Scheckter won it with Ferrari. But Jack Brabham is the only person in Formula One history that has won a Formula One title in a car bearing his surname, and he was a constructor of said vehicle. No one else in Formula One history has ever achieved that, as far as I can remember. And that's a pretty good tag.
Could you imagine Brabham McLaren as well, too? Brabham and McLaren together in a team.
Imagine that, Bruce McLaren and Jack Brabham.
McLaren, Jack
that
Brabham.
would be an epic. That'd be like that'd be a pretty awesome.
You know,
tag
they
team.
designed the absolute best racing vehicle, wouldn't you? Because with those two together.
Yeah, definitely. But I think, you know, we've got an opportunity here because, folks, if it goes level on points between Kieran Sharp and Josh Millington, I can tell you now, the fact is Kieran Sharp would actually take it on count-back situations occur in the following. You go to the person that's had the most wins. Kieran Sharp has had 2. He's had a 3rd, a 7th, a 4th, a 3rd, another 2nd, a 12th, which was his worst result last time out in race 1, and a 2nd place. Millington, a 2nd, a DNF, a win, a 2nd, round 3, 2 2nd places, round 4, 2nd and 3rd. Then we had a 2nd and an 8th. So it's got to be, I don't want it going to count back, and I know you don't want that either, Dean. But I want it to be where if one... Now, looking at it from this perspective, folks, Kieran Sharp is, as per my calculations, on 528 points. But I think it might be slightly more than that because he's taken
Right.
It's going to be 61.
You said
It is
520,
60.
yeah? We'll make a note of that.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat
Fi-
too, please, if you're also making some notes for us, please. That'll help us out. Yep, 500.
So 526 Millington, 528 Sharp.
And
So-
Luciano?
Luciano currently on 502. So if he gets a win and a fastest lap of the race in the last race of the season, that will put him on 568 points.
Okay.
So there is a third dynamic to this equation, folks.
Right.
A third dynamic. And I'm going to put it like this. If we have it that Kieran Sharp and Josh Millington, there's the grid. I'm not going to go through it because you can all see it on your screens because I want to build a little bit of suspense here. So if Luciano, so looking at it from this perspective, if Sharp and Millington are 12th or lower, Vit Voigt will get the title if he wins and takes the fastest lap. So I'm going to do a little bit of brief calculation here whilst everyone readies up. So 39 and 37. Well, I'll do that whilst we're on the fly because everyone's gridded up and ready. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the grand finale. The 5 red lights now start to ignite here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta for the season finale of the Sim Racing Collective F4 Sprint. Lights are out. We are underway as Barney, the flag marshal, as energetic as he's always been, gets us under green flag racing conditions. And already, Millington looking to try go round the outside at Pike at turn 1. At the moment, can't do it. Sharp, however, wants to do this one way and one way only. Get past Luciano Vit Voigt and take the win. Sharp got a decent start and is within 0.3 of a second of the Flying Dutchman, the most decorated in terms of race wins. So Kieran Sharp has got to go hard or go home. It's literally, you've got to put all your cards on the table. Millington now up into P3. That puts him on 57 points. So now, folks, this is where the real maths start to happen. And I will keep an eye on what happens over the course of the night. But you see there, Vit Voigt leads from Sharp, Millington, Pike, Nuttall, Moss, Acton, Ronda, Blankensteiner, Kunsabo. As there is Bobby Moss looking towards the inside through into turn 10A on Matt Acton. That's going to be the move for 6th place. Blankensteiner and Ronda are not too far behind. Neither is Kunsabo, who rounds out the top 10. But Kieran Sharp is absolutely going for it. He doesn't care about the fact that Luciano Vit Voigt has got 6 race wins. He wants the one that's going to get him the title.
He's going to give it everything right now. If he gets it, if he gets past. But I don't know. Luciano's going to be very, very quick. It's going to be very difficult. We'll kill it. Well, Kieran Sharp will have to probably risk it, wouldn't he? Risk it for the biscuit. And he's got to be very cautious here. Well, and that's the thing, because by this battling, as we've seen before, we'll bring Josh in the background in. We've had an accident there with Martin. We'll get you back on that one in a second. But you see, the battling here up the front will bring Josh into play. And that's exactly what Josh wants.
Yeah, Hayden Miller's in the pits as well. He's had a big old ta-ta-ta, as James Parker would say. Yeah, but it is incredibly close. Now, this gives the opportunity for Josh Millington to close on in. Let's have a look at the replay. This is Martin Blankensteiner trying to close in on Matt Acton. So
taking each other out, the teammates.
Oh dear, no. Blankensteiner just lost at the back end on his own. Oh, and he gets hit.
Yeah, that's what I
right up the left rear by Hayden Miller.
He did the right thing. He just couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, just couldn't go anywhere. Right front of Miller. It's the left rear of Blankensteiner, and they're both in pit lane. They're going to be in for quite a time as Gurgley Kunsabo gets through on Gareth Ronda. So at the minute, with Bradley Hulsner now trying to close in. Right, new fastest lap of the race, Millington. Oh, big incident on the start finish straight. Davidson and Ronda come together.
Oh, get through that one. Oh.
I cannot. That was just nasty. Absolutely nasty.
Well, they're pushing each other. Watch the exit of the turn and the final turn. They go door banging here.
Oh dear.
And then that's that's just unfortunately into the grass. Gareth had
Yeah.
no traction there, and of course that's
Houseside's just gone quite the expensive race for some of the teams here. You bet their virtual invoices will probably be not by snail mail, but by Discord DM at the moment. But Josh Millington has now put himself on...
Tell him to type this into the chat of the stream so I could read it, because I'm not reading the Discord chat.
Yeah, well,
Houseside.
Houseside's wondering if anyone's using the B car. Don't you mean the T car?
Yeah, it's a T car.
T car, come on.
Here we go, challenge for the lead.
Sharp versus Voit.
Oh, look at the speed.
Millington, look how deep he was on the brakes. My goodness. Now we've got a 3-horse race for the final race win of the season. Ronda in the pits, Helmer in the pits, Davidson in the pits, Blankensteiner and Miller in the pits. Well, Davidson now coming out. Sharp is now looking to the outside. That was a bit too close there, Sharpie. Millington again, new fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, he's creeping up at the moment. He's loving this battle, as I said, because it's going to help him. It's going to bring him into play. And so here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a 3. These 3 drivers here can all win the Drivers' Championship, but unfortunately, of course, for the Flying Dutchman, he doesn't need these 2 behind him. He needs them to be DNF'd to have any chance.
Right. Okay, update on the scores. Millington in 3rd, fastest lap of the race, plus 3rd position. That's 58 points. Puts him on 5.84. Kieran Sharp in 2nd. 5.28 when we started this race, leading by 4. Leading by 4, and we're 5 minutes in, a 6th of the way through this
they're going to
race.
approach this lap car, and the traffic in the corner at the moment. I knew this is going to be an issue here. Look at this. Oh, wow.
That was Davidson, the Pog champ, in the way. Sharp now expands his lead to what is now going to be 5.93.
He's got up the inside there.
5.88, and Millington's looking up the inside as well. Nearly trying to make it 3 wide coming down the hill. My goodness me, Millington thought I've got a perfect opportunity here, and now Sharp is going to nose ahead of it. Voit.
Now,
Millington, look, he's closing. Can he make it 3 wide? He decides not to chance it. Good call there, Josh, because at this point you don't want to be between a rock and a hard place. But Jamie Nuttall, oh dearie me, this has brought everyone into this. So it's about the biggest thing is, if you blink and you muck up and you're Kieran Sharp or Josh Millington, you can wave that crown bye-bye, big time.
You called it, my friend. You don't want to be looking anywhere else but here right now. And the drivers don't want to be looking anywhere else but this final race of the season. We do love it. We'll talk about a special event. And there's a snap of an oversteer there from Karen. And now, here it is, my friend. We could even have 4 into 1. Don't try it, gentlemen, but there you go. This is like watching an IndyCar race.
I know. So Millington's going to gun for the lead. This could be the big moment that Josh Millington needs to get past Luciano Voit, but who goes deep on the brakes. Sharp is round towards the outside of Millington, but has got Nuttall to the inside. Pike is there and can be a rear gunner. Houseside, I don't want to know about your toilet indiscretions, thank you very much. But yeah,
look at this. They boxed Karen in here. Is Karen No, that was Pike, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he got tagged.
Oh dear, we got 2 off. Yeah, that's Sharp! Sharp's off! Sharp's off! That means if anything further happens in the next, what is it? 18 just under 18 minutes. Sharp has tumbled all the way down to 6th. That is 51 points. That is no bueno for the number 23. My goodness. I thought they were going...
It's because Jamie goes off, right? At the background. It wasn't Jamie, actually. And that might have caught him off. No, this is what happened, isn't it? It's a case of you're following the car and not your own racing line.
Exactly.
And it's caught Kieran Sharp because Kieran Sharp's got followed in the car. Here it is. So he's like, all right, la 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 la, and then actually, yeah, he went off, and who was it that went off behind him as well too? So there, out of the car.
Well, what this means now, folks, is that this puts Kieran Sharp on 5.79, Josh Millington on 5.87. That just goes to show how quickly, 5.87. So now Kieran Sharp is up to 5th. That's going to put him on 5.81. So the gap now is 6 points between the pair. I was hoping that something was not going to happen. I was waiting for a great ding-dong battle all the way through for the majority of the race, and it come down to like the final couple of laps, and then all would be decided. But I'm looking at it from this perspective, Dean. So Kieran Sharp at the minute.
Well, he's got to clear these two cars, doesn't he? And this is the problem. They're battling. He's got to. Bobby and Andrew are battling, so he's got to be really cautious that.
Yeah. But if he gets past these two, that'll give him another 4 points, which puts him on 5.87. And then what he's got to do is close in and pass Josh Millington,
who's about to maybe close in and pass our race leader, the Flying Dutchman. So there you go. Flip up more mathematics, my friend, if that does happen. Didn't quite get it done there, but look at this. This is going to be very, very tenderless there, isn't it, for Kieran? Because he's going to get past Pike. There you go. There's the team game coming into play. Pike's now let him through. Good call there by Andrew Pike to let Kieran go for the title. That is now going to put Kieran Sharp on 5.83. Matt Acton, however, is thinking otherwise. Oh, dearie me, another spanner in the works for the 23. It's the number 10 of Matt Acton. He thought, well, if Pike's going to let you through, I'm going to go through. Millington now, with 10 minutes in out of this 25-minute race, and Luciano Vitvoet has not cantered away and checked out like he did in race 1. Millington is basically on the verge of doing a champion's drive right now. He's not giving Vitvoet any opportunity to breathe. Vitvoet is having to fight for this win. I think Vitvoet is playing with his food. I think that he's having fun here. I think he could have probably bolted up the road and put those flying laps in like he did before. But I think he's because he's realizing these two drivers, if Josh once again and Kieran don't really finish in these places inside the top 10 or whatever, then he can't win the championship anyway. So I think he's having fun. I think he is sandbagging. I really, really do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to want to add a little bit of a spice to the mix, so to speak. And that when you've won 6 of the you've won the most races out of anybody. You've won apart from the DNF on race 1 last time out at I think it was Summit Point. It was VIR. If he didn't have that DNF at VIR, we would have had a clear 3-horse race for the championship. But with Millington in second, 8.5 tenths behind, I think Millington's just got to go like, right, okay, I've got just over half the race remaining. Kieran Sharp has got to get his cojones ready into the party and go for broke. That's all he's got to do. He was ahead multiple points in front of Millington, and he was 2 points ahead coming in to this championship finale. Bradley Horsnell's slow down there. Coming through in towards turn 6, so dumps him out of the top 10.
Kieran Sharp's not gaining at all.
No. Yeah. Kieran Sharp did a 1:22.0 last time around because Jamie Nuttall is another driver that doesn't give a stuff about the championship. He wants to go for a position, and this could be what Kieran Sharp does not need, and Kieran Sharp responds accordingly, keeps it pinned round the outside at turn 10B. But Jamie Nuttall might have the overspeed coming out of turn 12. It is, and Houso said Vitvoet can stay calm, but it's hard to fight the draft. New fastest lap of the race. Josh Millington has got that gap down from just over 8.5 tenths of a second to just over half a second. Starting to go back up again, but Jamie Nuttall is now making Kieran Sharp fight for position, which is not the situation that Kieran wants to be in. What he wants to be is ahead of Bobby Moss and right on the tail of Josh Millington. But the gap between Millington and Sharp is now 6 seconds. That is going to be such a difficult gap to close on down in the next, 12 minutes? That's nigh on impossible. Jamie Nuttall again having another spill. Now, was that assisted? I wasn't 100% sure.
It looks like there's contact there, look.
Oh yeah, left front and right rear. That was Andrew Pike involved. in the
This
57.
bump drafting, my friend. Here we go. This
Hey,
is
forget
Pike.
F4, it's a bit of...
He's pushing Matt
Wee
along,
dog, it's a bit of
literally.
NASCAR for you,
Yeah.
boy. It's like Sheriff Buford T. Justice from Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah! Whoa!
Oh,
There you
acted
go.
off.
Yeah,
That'll
Axel's
be a
trying to do the
slowdown.
Smokey and the Bandit jump, isn't it?
No, he was doing the Valtteri Bottas grass cut,
there
like
you go.
Red Bull Ring in Austria, in a Mercedes. Yeah. But yeah, Sharp is playing with slowdown penalties here, says Halsoy, and it could be the end. Well, I think now Kieran Sharp realizes that the only thing that he can do is get himself as close to Bobby Moss as possible. But it is the fact that Josh Millington is in the pound seat. He's exactly where he needs to be. Right place, right time, right situation, and he's kept a cool head. That's been incredibly crucial. And Millington now is 7 seconds up the road from Sharp.
That's huge.
So now,
Shark is finally getting into Bobby. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, so Sharp, who's closing in on Bobby Moss, he's got to put everything on the line. He can't leave any stone unturned, but Millington will want to not only close this championship off in this final race of the season, but what's more, the person in front of him, the man who we've monikered the Flying Dutchman, has been absolute mustard since round 3 earlier on this season, where he took 2 wins on the bounce, then did it again the next race afterwards. It was Okayama, if I remember, for round 3. So, and Millington said it. Millington's gone sub 120.
Yeah. And this is also in the dirty air, remember, of the Flying Dutchman.
Yes.
Which is not an easy thing to do. And this is why I'm thinking that the Flying Dutchman's sandbagging here. I really do think he is, because I think every time he gets close, he just finds an extra gear. And Luciano's just off the road there, and Josh is like, oh, damn it, I have to catch you again. I don't even think if Josh is even planning on overtaking. Well,
no, I don't think so.
Like it.
He knows that he's got enough. You know, when you
Karen Sharp
when you
now
look
on
at
Bobby. Karen
Oh,
knows
that's
this
right.
is a
Okay,
charge.
that's P3.
Yep.
That's P3. That's P3. That's good, solid points there. That puts him right. That's 57 points now for Kieran
That
Sharp.
looked all too easy. I mean, I know he's probably found an extra gear and pushed it. I don't know if Bobby would have fought for it. So no, I don't think that's scripted or anything. I think literally that is going to be fun. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is now, Acton and Pike going side by side, side pod to side pod into turn 10A. Pike stays ahead for the minute. Millington is trying to close in on Vit Voigt again, but I think might be playing his own game of silly beggars with the Dutchman. But yeah, we're now going to looking at it from this perspective. Okay, Josh Millington has 587 points into consideration, with 60 points for second and the fastest lap of the race. Kieran Sharp now has 57 points to his credit in this race so far as things stand. Came into it with 5.28, 2 points behind. And with 8 minutes to go, it ain't gonna happen. If it was like a 30-minute race with a pit stop, then you could see that Sharp might have an opportunity of closing that gap.
Are you not thinking about any pit stops? You don't think they're going to need to go in?
No.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, if it was a different format where pit stops were part and parcel of it.
Oh, that's flashing, Josh, too. That's not thing you want to have right now. When that championship trophy is almost right there. It's on your shelf. Just reach out and grab it.
Yeah.
Don't need blinking. We've still got this little battle brewing at the moment there between Andrew and Matt that's been occurring for some time right now, which is not too bad for the rest of the drivers, of course, of Karen, Josh, and Luciano, because they're way up the road. Even if these two come together, it's not going to be a problem. I'm just wondering about whether or not they'll catch that traffic. They won't. I don't know. You can see on the track map a 16th place. And
that's going to be...
we've got...
Yeah, I don't think Luciano Vitvoit's going to be... He's not being troubled by back market traffic in front of him. It's more about the fact that who's trying to close in on his rear wing again, Josh Millington. And Millington is doing as I said, exactly what he did now. Halsoy's just gone, RIP Thomas Helmet. All my buddies having a bad day, and now Dave too. No.
Yeah, well, you got to have your good days and your bad days in your racing. So far, it's good to say there's only a couple of drivers that are out, but that's a couple of those drivers as well too. Remember, that was because of a collision where you got nowhere to go. Somebody makes a mistake, bang the year in the side pod. That happens to anybody, any driver in time. That's what I'm saying, and I've always said this before. You want to avoid those situations? It's easy. Put your car on pole, and then you don't have to worry about colliding into anybody on the front row. Yeah. And then Biggles, but you don't race drive. You know how hard it is against these drivers? Yeah, that's why I don't race drive.
Yeah, I mean, even though I haven't competitively raced on sim racing or IRL, you can tell what cars are doing, as I saw a near mistake there happening with Luciano Vitvoet. Matt Acton's just had a drama of his own.
Got a track, yeah. He's trying to do last little late breakers.
He's doing the Bottas mowing again, isn't he?
Yeah. But you had to give it I'd have to give it to Josh like earlier as the Daniel Ricciardo braking move, wasn't it? I mean, we saw that earlier. I can't remember what lap that was on, where he just came from nowhere, slammed on the stop pedal, and then pulled it up on a dime, and then caught that 3 just like that.
Yeah, that was sort of like a V tapering off the corner. However, could we see a change for the race lead with just over 5 minutes remaining? Our 2 leaders, as Millington's got the side draft, he's pulling ahead, and he's exactly 1 full car length ahead of Vitvoet. He's going to go late on the brakes into turn 10.
Playing with him, I swear, he's playing for his food.
Oh, they are playing silly beggars. They are playing. They're playing around like 2 kids who don't want to leave the playground. They're having too much fun out there. But,
yes. But you know what happens sometimes when you play around a little bit? Somebody gets hurt. And there's a good chance that somebody could get hurt.
I like how my analogy just turned into something very, very dark and disturbing, so to speak. Not in a literal way, but in a theoretical way.
Well, and you're in the monkey bars at the playground or something like that, and you're pushing somebody in the swings, and you push a little bit too far, and all of a sudden, ouch! Somebody, you're crying to your parents because it's like, I cut my hand, or even worse, you've broken something. That's what could happen. These two.
A trip to A&E, not welcome after having an incident in the playground. But out of turn number 7 they go again. We've got just under 4 minutes. Josh Millington looking very, very good indeed. Just mucking around with Luciano Vitvoet as he's putting the boot on the other foot. Is the number 60 from the Netherlands into turn 9. They go once again at the right-hander. Right-hand kink. Into turn 10A. Vitvoet will take the inside. Yeah, well, it's just like Millington just knows, well, I'll get the overspeed, but I know I won't make the apex. And I'll just keep it where it is. Whereas Moss and Sharp are still battling away, 4th and 3rd respectively. So leaders have come across the line. We have got, I think, 3 laps to go, including this one.
This 3-way party, my friend, as well, too, a little bit further back.
So Consabo, Pike, and Acton. This is for 5th place. Now, Gergely Consabo hasn't had the best run of luck, and I'm just looking to see what his best results so far. He's at a 4th. Back at round 2 at Summit Point on the 2nd of Feb, and since then it's been a comedy of errors for the Hungarian, unfortunately. So, and he wasn't around for rounds 3 and 4. He came back last time out at VIR, so he had a 7th and a 7th at Alton Park, a 4th and a DNF at round 2 at Summit Point. Then wasn't with us for Okoyama and Lime Rock on the West Bend, but Vitvoet and Millington still pretty much there or thereabouts as we're coming into the final 2 minutes of this race. Our leaders are now coming out of turn number 11. Consabo is comfortably ahead by a fraction ahead of Acton and Pike, who are literally banging down each other's side pods heading into turn 10A. And the leaders now are on to the penultimate lap. Millington versus Vitvoet.
I'm wondering right now if Millington's going to go for gold here and just get the race win. and really try now. Like, he might have been backing off a little bit. And will Luciano just step it up there and say, all right, come on, let's go. Let's bring it. You want to get this race win? Because, I mean, Luciano, of course, the Flying Dutchman has got the most race wins, easily peasily. Yeah. But, unfortunately, because of those missed rounds, he didn't have an opportunity to capitalise that. So he's a late charger in the season. You can see that rear end sliding. Here we go. Well, talk us through this one.
Right, okay. Luciano Vitvoet, the car getting a bit tail happy through 6. And now out of 8, they're going to go. Millington could tee this up, because next time around we will get the white flag for the final lap of the final race of the TSRC F4 sprint season here at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Millington is going to go for it. He's nosing ahead by about the front part of the monocoque into turn 10A. Vitvoet goes deep on the brakes, but is he going to overcook it? He might do, but here comes the crisscross from Millington through at turn number 11. They're going to be wheel to wheel a la Mansell and Senna from 1991, and Millington's got through. Millington's got through and now leads us on to the 19th and final lap of Vitvoet, looking to go up the inside through at turn number 1. Millington closes the door very quickly, carries the momentum through the outside of the corner. Very nicely done by Josh Millington. And now this really is the proof being in the pudding of just waiting for his opportunity. And as soon as he saw Vitvoet get loose on the back end of the car of the number 60, Millington knew that he had kept a little bit in reserve just to go, I know, Luciano, you've had 6 wins, but this one will cap off the season and get me the title in the right way possible. Out through turn number 7 for the 19th and the final time. It's pedal to the metal for both Millington and Vitvoet as they now make their way out of turn number 8, over the crest, under the bridge. Now the run down to turn 10A. Will Vitvoet dart to the right-hand side? Yes, he does. But this is going to mean that Millington's going to keep the inside line for turn 10A. However, Vitvoet got an absolute big old turn of speed, but Millington's still going to keep it up the inside.
Oh.
Vitvoet responds through turn 10B, but Millington's still half a car length ahead. Out of the penultimate corner they go. They bang wheels. Right rear to left front, out of the final corner. Who's going to win it? It doesn't matter who is going to win it. It is going to be Millington. Yes. He becomes the inaugural TSRC F4 Sprint Champion. Josh Millington, with the win when it mattered the most, with 3 wheels on the wagon, does the business. The closest ever finish in this inaugural season. 34 thousandths of a second. And what that means, folks, is Josh Millington ends up with a total of 66 points after that one. Luciano Vitvoet will come home with 562 points after that race. But Josh Millington, I'm just doing the final maths, is going to take provisionally the title with 591 points. And there is your gallant runner-up. Kieran Sharp never gave up, never gave in, and raced right up until the checkered flag. And you know what? He was the man that started things off, and there's a bit of Asters. Goodness me. We've got to do some kind of slowdown lap.
Kieran, do you have a copy? Oh, he's not moving in the cockpit. Kieran.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, yeah, I mean, after that, that means by 6 points, the win that took the title, Josh Millington, the number 86, takes its maximum score of 66 points, winning the TSRC F4 sprint season here at Road Atlanta. Luciano Vitvoet, the most decorated winner, 6 wins, and a second to round off the season. Kieran Sharp finishes on 585 points, having finished on the final step of the virtual rostrum in P3. Bobby Moss looks to have secured his place as the top rookie, and a second best effort of the season for Wild Things Racing's Gergely Kunsabo in the number 5 in the 5th place car. Jamie Nuttall, Matt Acton, Andrew Pike, Guillaume Hamling, and Stefan Hutter round out the top 10. Johnny Wu, Thomas Martin, and Bradley Horsner ran at the top 13. Gareth Ronda ends up 14th, a lap down, with Thomas Helmer 2 laps down, Tom Davidson 3 laps down, David Barnes, Hayden Miller, and Martin Blankensteiner unfortunately retiring before the end of the race, and in some cases, Blankenstein is most significantly right at the start of it on lap 3. Well,
Yeah.
that
Somebody
was a
said
pretty
rumours
good.
as he's crying. Well, remember Sebastian Vettel did when he won his championship, right?
His first ever title. First ever title. I still remember. Well, what was it? Oh my god, I don't believe it! And then
Yeah.
burst
Oh my
out
God,
into
I don't
tears.
believe it. But you know, it's the emotions. That's the adrenaline's pumping through your veins.
Exactly.
I would as well too. Probably definitely have a tear to your eye winning a championship like that in the dying stages where it could have gone anyways, any direction. So let's find out. Let's actually you want to bring the boss man in for a quick chat because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, indeed. Let's bring in Kieran Sharp, our runner-up this season in what has been a brilliant, brilliant championship, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens for the next season. Kieran Sharp, it was so close, and you gave it all you did, mate. You gave it all you did, but it just wasn't enough. You missed out. I think it was, by my calculations, by about 6 points. Mate.
Was it 6?
6.
Oh,
You were leading by 2. It was.
it was 6 after we took the lead, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he got the fastest lap to boot. But I mean, to still with at least 4 drivers in with a mathematical shout coming into this final round, and it mainly being between you and Josh. You just went gung ho, all guns blazing. Managed to get a number done on Josh. Then and then you went after Luciano, and I thought this could be something really, really special. And I was like thinking, keep a calm head. And then as soon as I think, what was it? Jamie Nussell went off, and then you went off as well, didn't you? And I think that was coming through the S's very early in the race. Just talk us through what happened then.
Yeah, before the moment I went off, I made a little mistake onto the back straight, but that wasn't a big deal because still in the pack, and as long as you're kind of in the slipstream, it's fine. But then coming out the chicane, bit of a bad run, just about clear of Nuttall, and then I didn't quite get the nose in. Also having a tiny bit of dirty air from Josh ahead and the hot attempts as well. A bit more understeer, went off, and similar to what Josh done in race 1. And then he got slowed down, so did I. And then that put me out the pack, which is unfortunate because when you're all bunched up at the start, you don't have any leeway if you have a slowdown. And I lost more time than if it was like later on in the race. So, but I managed to get back up to 3rd. And just trying to go fast. I just got quite match Josh and Luciano as they were both, carrying each other forward and putting down some good laps. But yeah, it was tough.
Having a look at the replay right now, this is back in lap 4, 5, and 6. This is right at the start of the race. This is when all you 3 were bunched up together here, and because you were trying to battle Luciano for the lead of this race, which you got a couple of times around this point as well too. You did just a nose ahead of him, and of course you knew in the background there's Josh, of course, in that pink machine, hunting you down, both of you gentlemen down. This was some fun racing there, right, Kieran?
Yeah, sort in race 1, I think that lasted even longer with the race we had, and yeah, you've got 2 good sections of slipstreaming. You can always take an alternate line to get a run on someone else, or if you back off and set up the exit, you can always get a good run. And I think everyone really showed that. You got some good. I think we were 3 wide on some occasions as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have messaged Josh Millington, and he said, unfortunately, I said, can you come in for a chat? Well, we need to speak to the champion, but he's declined. He said, unfortunately not, mate, but thanks for commentating. I said, okay, mate, thought I'd ask anyway, congrats. Let's talk what's coming up next for TSRC. Of course, we know that you guys run the GT3s, and I think it's normally on a Thursday night that we broadcast on JPB and also the TSRC channels. What's coming up? What's coming up for TSRC? Are there any little tidbits you can share for the viewers?
Well, rain's coming next week, and we do have a special event on the Friday. So in place of this, this is on the off season, testing the new rain feature. Put that to a real test. People see what it's like. People might have a few spins. And with that, we're going to consider what we have for a future season. I think vote for the next leagues. Just people want season 2 of F4, so if that's the case, we'll give them what they want. But if there's any surprises with the update coming next week, some things could change. Could be something totally different using the rain feature for the next season.
Brilliant. Well, Kieran, well done. So gutted for you, mate, but a great effort to finish second. It's great to see F4 really become a part of the sim racing collective, and still have a pretty good grid, some great battling, and everyone improving over the course of the season. It's been a real pleasure for myself and also for Dean for commentating on and broadcasting this for you guys. It's just been an absolute hoot, and we're looking forward to when season 2 of TSRC F4 Sprint comes back with a bang, and hopefully with a longer calendar.
Yeah, thanks to you both as well. I think everyone's enjoyed the commentary. People always say it's great to watch streams back, so yeah, thanks to you too as well.
Brilliant. Kieran, thank you so much for your time, mate. Have a good weekend, and hope the special event goes well.
Thanks. See you later.
Well, on that note, folks, time to run you through a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, that ends the TSRC F4 Sprint season with myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and Dean Biggles having been your commentary and broadcasting duo over the course of the past 6 weeks. It's been an absolute pleasure. But there's a lot of action happening because tomorrow, after the Bahrain Grand Prix, we've got iFormula League Super Formula Round 6 at Spa. We've then got on Sunday Coffee Cup Round 3 at Monza, iFormula F3 Round 6 at Spa, Pole Position Racing Round 7 at Baku, and then the class that everyone likes on a Sunday night, IGP Fun F3 Series Round 10 at Interlagos. So he's been Dean Biggles. My name's Alex Goldschmidt. Race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, flat out. And before I forget, that's all for now. Goodbye.